Okay, so last week we looked at, I gave you some homework to do. And the first part of the homework was looking at this exercise here. Let me just make it bigger for you. Okay. Okay, so it was looking at this exercise here, and I wanted you to complete these sentences with the verbs make, get, or do. Okay? All right, so Isabel, what did you get for number 1?
Made.
Okay, so can you read out the sentence for me?
But you made a conscious decision to learn it when you were in Mongolia, didn't you?
Okay, so that's the correct verb, but look at the tense. What's this tense here?
Past tense.
Yeah, very good. So what do you need to do to the verb here?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, Li Han. Good to see you. Good to
You
see you.
can just you can just call me Li Han. You do not need to call me by my full name.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Li Han. Li Han, can I ask you, when is your birthday?
30th of March.
30th of March. Oh, so your birthday is coming up in a couple of months. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're correcting the homework now, Li Han. And we're on this page here looking at verbs make, get, and do. Okay, so Isabel, number 1 is, what's the answer?
Had made.
Okay, so it's not had made. It's the past simple.
Made.
Very good, excellent. Okay, so number 1 is made. Okay, excellent, very good. Number 2, please, Chinsi.
What's essential though is making an effort.
Okay, it's not making an effort, it's to make an effort. To make an effort. Okay, so it's the infinitive. Okay. Okay, Jaden, what's number 3, please?
I remember doing those dictation exercises.
Very good. Doing, excellent. Okay. Actually, Chancy, I've just seen number 2 again. Actually, you're right. You can use the infinitive and the gerund. So you're right, Chancy. Number 2, you can say to make or making. I've just read the question again. So you're right. Okay, very good. Thank you, Jaden. And number 4, please, Ji Yang.
Number 4 is make.
Very good. Excellent. And number 5, please, Caddy.
Getting the question right would be useful training for many interviewers.
Very good. Okay. Caddy, can you sit a bit closer to your computer, please? You're still quiet. I can't hear you very well. Can you say number 5 again for me?
Getting the question right would be useful training for many interviewers.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Interviewers. Can you say this word again for me?
Interviewers.
Interviewers. Very good. Excellent. Okay, good. Let's continue. Okay, so then what I'd like us to do, the other bit of the homework I asked you to do, was to read this text here and to complete the gaps. Yes? Okay. So did everybody do the homework of this part?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Jaden. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. Isabel, can you start reading from the top, please?
International companies are finding it increasingly important to develop brand names that can be used in a wide range of countries. A product with a single, universally recognized name can enable companies to make major. Am I
Very
supposed to
good.
continue?
Yes, you can. Yeah, if you can just continue up to number 3.
Okay. To make major savings in production and promotion costs, especially now that world advertising is a reality in such contexts as major sporting events.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Isabel. Okay, so number 1 is universally. So it's the adverb. Okay. Number 2 is savings. It's the noun in the plural. And number 3 is reality. Okay. Isabel, can you say this word again for me?
Reality.
Excellent. Good girl. Thank you. Okay, and let's continue. Leanne, can you answer number 4 and 5, please?
It is said that more time is actually spent deciding the name of the product than on the research and development leading to the innovation itself. Thousands of possible names may need to be investigated and find out one that is internationally accepted.
Very good. Okay, so number 4 is correct, but number 5 is not correct. Can you think of another adjective to use instead of accepted? Any other ways of making an adjective? Leanne?
I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so the answer is acceptable. Okay, so acceptable is the other adjective. So if you put able, that's the suffix. If you put that at the end of the verb, that becomes the adjective. So the answer is acceptable. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Jiang, can you answer questions 6, 7, and 8 for me, please?
An indication of the scope of the problem can be seen from the experience of Dunlop, who spent over 2 years successfully researching a name for new tires. Then they launched an international competition amongst their employees, receiving over 10,000 entries. Around 30 names were selected from an enormous number of submissions, but not one was found to be legally available in more than a small number of countries.
Okay, so questions number 7 and 8 are correct, but number 6 is incorrect. Read the sentence again and tell me, is the sentence a positive or a negative sentence?
Negative.
Okay, very good. So you rightfully gave me the adverb successfully, but that adverb is a positive adverb. You need to make the adverb negative. How do you make the adverb negative?
Don't know.
No problem. You add un, which is a prefix at the beginning, and it makes unsuccessfully. Very good. Well done. Okay. So unsuccessfully is the answer. And then number 7 is competition. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Tion. And number 8 is submission. I'm going to write it down here. Submissions in plural. Okay. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Are there any things that you don't understand? All right, so hopefully everyone is okay. If you do have a question, just let me know. Okay. And did I give you any more homework? I think that was it. That was all the homework, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jaden. Okay, excellent. All right, so what I'd like us to do now is we're going to look at how to make adjectives, verbs, and nouns and adverbs, okay? So let's look at these words here. All right. Okay, so here are some words: govern, care, critic, child, break, occasion, force, deep, fragile, friend, repair. Okay. Now we're going to look at how you can make more words from these words. Okay. So the verb govern, the noun becomes government. Okay. Let me just make this bigger for you. Okay, so can you see the noun is government. The adjective is governmental, governable. Then you can make it negative by adding the prefix ungovernable. Then you can make the adverb, and you make the adverb by adding ly to the adjective. So that's the negative, ungovernably. And then governing is another adjective. And then governor is a noun, which is the person who works in government. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. So we're going to now look at more words. Let's look at the word care. Okay. So let's look at the word care. How do you make more words with the word care? Any ideas?
Careless.
Excellent, very good. Who said that? Who's that?
Chancy.
Chancy. Well done, Chancy. Okay, so careless. How do you spell careless, Chancy?
Careless.
Very good. Okay, and is it an adjective? Is it a verb? Is it a noun? What is it?
Verb.
Careless. What kind of word is it? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective?
A
Is
verb.
it an no, it's not a verb. It's an adjective. Okay, so the word careless is an adjective. Do you know what an adjective is?
Yes, but teacher, if I add ly to careless, then carelessly is also an adjective.
No, it's an adverb.
Oh, okay.
It's an adverb. But you're absolutely right. Okay, so let's look at these words together and let's look at how we can make nouns, verbs, and adverbs. Okay. Okay, so let me just highlight this. Okay. Give me 2 seconds, everyone. I'm going to use a Word document because I think it's easier. Okay. So, and let's get these as well. Okay. So let me share this with you. But well done, Chinzi. Okay, so here are the words that I wanted you to look at, okay? And let me just make this bigger for you so you can see it. And Chensi has very rightfully given me an adjective, okay? Now an adjective describes a noun, okay? She's also given me the adverb carelessly, okay? And you form the adverb by getting the adjective and then adding ly to the end, okay? And an adverb describes a verb, okay? So careless, careless is the adjective. Let's look at this adjective again. Do you think this adjective is a positive or a negative adjective?
Negative.
Excellent, well done. Thank you, Chunsi. Yeah, it's a negative adjective. All right. And so then carelessly is also a negative adverb. Okay. Can you think of any more words with the word care?
Careful.
Very good. Who said that?
Isabel.
Very good, Isabel. Careful, Isabel. Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective?
An adjective.
Excellent. Very good. Well done. And is it a positive or a negative adjective?
It's a positive adjective.
Excellent. Very good. Well done. Okay, any more words with the word care? Can you think of any more words?
Caringly.
Okay, I can't hear you, Caddy. You've got to
Caringly.
caringly.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Caringly. Is caringly a noun? Is it a verb? What type of word is it?
Adverb.
It's an adverb. Good girl. And is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Good girl. Well done. It's positive. Okay. Any more words with care? So Caddy has just given me an adverb with caringly. Remember, we form the adverb by adding ly, ly to the adjective. But if I remove ly, what do I have? What's this word? Any ideas?
Caring.
Very good, Lihan. And caring, is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective?
Adjective.
Very good, it's an adjective. Is it a positive or negative adjective?
Positive.
Very good. It's an adjective and it's positive. How do I make it negative, Lihan?
Uncaring.
Excellent. Very good. Well done. Okay. So by adding the prefix un at the beginning, I make it negative. Okay. Excellent. Well done, Lihan. Okay. So we've got a lot of adjectives and we've got a lot of adverbs, but what about nouns? Can anybody give me an example of how do I make a noun with this word care? Any ideas? What's the name of the person who cares? Somebody who looks after an old person, for example, or somebody who looks after somebody who is sick. What's that word? Any ideas? carer. Okay, so a carer is a noun, and it's the name given to the person who takes care of sick people or old people. Okay, so it's the noun. All right. And let's look at Isabel's example. She gave me the example careful. How do I make this into an adverb?
Carefully.
Excellent. Was that Lehan?
Yes.
Yeah, well done, Lehan. Okay, so I make the adverb, remember, by taking the adjective. So the adjective I know is careful, and I then add ly, and that becomes the adverb. Very good. Okay, so remember you add ly. Okay, and carefully, is it a positive or a negative adverb, Lehan?
Positive.
Excellent. Oops. Okay. All right, so that was the word care. We've already looked at govern. Let's look at the next word. The next word is critic. Can anybody give me a word from the word critic? First of all, what is the word critic? Is it a verb? Is it a noun?
It's a noun.
Excellent, Jaden. Well done. It's a noun. And remember, the word care, is care a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? The word care, is it a verb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it an adverb?
Verb.
Yeah, very good, Chinsi. Excellent, it's a verb. All right, so let's go back to the word critic. Okay, and let's make some more words with the word critic. Can anybody give me an example of another word using the word critic?
Critical.
Excellent, very good, Lehan. Critical. And is critical a verb? Is it a noun? Is it, what is it?
Adjective.
Excellent, very good, well done. It's an adjective. Can you make any more words from the word critical?
Critically.
Excellent. Was that Chinsi?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Okay, and critically, is it an adjective, Chinsi?
Adverb.
It's an adverb. Excellent. Any more words?
Criticize.
Excellent, very good. Jaden? Criticize. What is criticize? Is it an adverb? Is it a noun?
It's a verb.
Excellent, very good. Okay, any more words?
Criticism.
Excellent, Lehan. Is it a verb? Is it an adverb?
A noun.
Very good. Any more words? Look at these adjectives and adverbs. Are they positive or negative?
Negative.
Oh, okay, okay. So they're actually negative. So how do we make the opposite? So critical, how do we make the opposite of critical?
Uncritical.
Excellent, very good. Was that Lehan?
Yes.
Very good, well done, Lehan. Okay, any more? So we know that the adjective is uncritical. How do I make the adverb? How do I make the adverb? If the adjective is uncritical, how do I make the adverb?
Uncritically.
Uncritically.
Excellent, very good. Uncritically. Remember, the adverb is formed by adding ly to the adjective. Oops, I don't want to give you my calculator. Excellent, very good, well done. Okay, let's look at the next word. The next word is child. Okay, so child, what kind of word is child? Is it a verb? Is it an adverb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective?
A noun.
Excellent, very good, Lihan, thank you. So let's make some words with the word child.
Childhood.
Okay, childhood, thank you, Caddy. Childhood, Caddy, is it an adverb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Sorry?
Now.
It's a noun, very good, thank you. Any more words?
Childish.
Excellent, very good, Jaden. What is childish? Is it an adverb?
Adjective.
It's an adjective, very good. Okay, any more words?
Does children count?
Yes, it does. And what is children, Lihan?
A noun.
Very good. Any more words? We've got a lot of nouns and one adjective, but we don't have any adverbs.
Childishly.
Very good, Caddy. Okay, what is childishly, Caddy?
Adverb.
It's an adverb. Excellent, very good, well done. And we know it's an adverb because there is the adjective. Remember, there's the adjective, and then we add ly to the adjective to make the adverb. Very good, excellent. Any more? Think about nouns. Think about adjectives.
Childcare.
Okay, that's actually a compound noun. That's where you add two nouns together. So although that's a noun, but it's not what I'm looking for. But thank you anyway, Lihan. Can anyone think of what the adjective is for people who don't have children?
Childless.
Excellent,
Childless.
excellent, very good. Childless. Okay, so that's the adjective. And can anyone think of an adjective for somebody who behaves like a child? Okay, so the word is childlike. Okay. And we've got an adjective here, but we haven't got an adverb. How do I make the adverb of this adjective?
You already have it below.
Oh, I do. Yes, thank you very much, Leanne. Thank you. I'm glad that you're awake today. Thank you. What else am I looking for? I'm looking for another noun. Okay, so sorry, I wanted to make the noun of this adjective. Any ideas? How do I make the noun of this adjective?
Childishness.
Excellent, Leanne. Very good. Childishness is the noun. Very good. Well done. Excellent. Okay. I think that's all. All right. So let's look at another word now. We're going to look at this word here, break. And the word break is, oh, I don't want to do that. The word break, is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adverb? Any ideas? What does break, what is it?
Is it a verb?
Yeah, very good. It's a verb. Okay, so can anyone think of words that you can
Breakable.
form? Excellent, very good, Isabel. Thank you. And breakable, Isabel, is it an adverb? Is it a noun? What type of word is it?
An adjective.
Excellent, very good. Breakable, and it's an adjective. Any more words?
Outbreak.
I can't hear you, Caddy.
Outbreak.
Excellent, good girl. Outbreak. What is outbreak?
Verb.
No, it's not a verb.
Noun.
It's a noun. Very good. Yeah, it's a noun. Excellent, good. Any more verbs or any more words?
Breakdown.
Break down. Very good. Excellent, Leanne. And what is breakdown?
A noun.
Excellent, very good. Any more words?
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Excellent. Very good, Caddy. Unbreakable. And what is unbreakable?
Adjective.
Adjective. Can you sit closer to your microphone, please? I can't hear you very well. Okay, so what kind of word is it, Caddy?
Adjective.
It's an adjective. Very good. Well done. Okay, any more words? Can you think of any more words? So we've got the word breakable here. How do I make the opposite of breakable?
I think it's already below there.
It is.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Leanne. Well done. Yeah, you got it there. Okay, so how do I make the adverb of unbreakable? The adverb?
Unbreakably.
Excellent. Unbreakably. Very good. Okay, any more adjectives? Can we make any more adjectives?
Breakaway.
No, that's a phrasal verb. What about if you had a plate and you dropped a plate on the floor? What is the plate? How would you describe the plate?
Broken.
Excellent. Broken. And broken is the adjective. How do you make the opposite?
Unbroken.
Unbroken. Very good. Okay, and that's the adjective. All right, excellent. Okay, let's look at the next word. So the next word is occasion. Okay, what kind of a word is occasion?
A noun.
Very good, Lihan, thank you. And how do I make more words with occasion?
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
Excellent, very good. Well done, Caddy. No, that was Lihan. Sorry, it was Chinsi and Isabel. Very good, well done. Occasionally. Okay, so occasionally, what kind of word is it?
An adverb.
It's an adverb, very good. So if occasionally is the adverb, how do I make the adjective?
Occasional.
Occasional, very good, Caddy, thank you. Adjective. Okay, I think that's all. Can we make any more words? No, I think that's all we can do with the word occasion. Let's look at the next word. The next word is force. What kind of word is force? Is it an adjective? Is it a verb? Is it a noun?
It can be a noun and also a verb.
Excellent, very good, Liam. Very good. Okay, so can you make any more words with force?
Forceful.
Excellent, very good as well. Thank you. Forceful. What is forceful, Isabel?
An adjective.
Adjective, very good. Can I make any more words with forceful?
Fully.
I can't hear you, Caddy.
Forcefully.
Forcefully, very good. What is forcefully, Caddy?
Adverb.
It's an adverb, good girl. Okay, any more words?
Forceless.
No, that's not a word, Chinsi. But thank you anyway.
Forcibly.
Very good, Jaden. Okay, so forcibly. So forcibly, what kind of word is it, Jaden?
Adverb.
Okay, so if it's the adverb, how do I make the adjective? So remember, we make the adverb by adding ly to the adjective. So what is the adjective? Any ideas?
Possible.
Very good, Lihan. Thank you. Forcible. Okay. Okay. Ji Yang, are you okay?
Yeah,
You
I'm
still
okay.
in? Yeah, you're very quiet. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. Can you think of any more words for force? Okay, so I'm going to give you some more clues. Look at these suffixes down here, and using the word force, are there any of these that you could use? You might need to change the word a bit. Also use prefixes as well, maybe. So prefixes such as dis, un, re, in. Any ideas? What can we do?
Enforce.
Enforcement.
Very good. Excellent. Well done, Isabel and Lee Han. Enforcement. Enforcement. Okay, and what kind of word is enforcement? Is it an adjective?
A noun.
Oh, very good. It's a noun. Okay. And so if enforcement is a noun, how do I make the verb?
Enforces.
Okay, enforce. Okay, so the verb is enforce. Okay. Can I make another verb with enforce?
Enforces.
Okay, so if I add the prefix re and change the spelling, I can make,
Reinforce.
excellent, very good. Well done, Lehan. Reinforce, and that becomes a verb. So if the verb is reinforce, how do I make the noun?
Reinforcement.
Excellent. That's the noun. Very good. Well done, everyone. Okay, so that's quite a lot of words for force. Okay, let's look.
Is enforceable a word?
Enforceable. Yes, I think it is. Let me see. Enforceable. Yes, it is. Well done. It's an adjective. Well done, Chunsi. Yes, because of course it's taken from the verb enforce. Very good, Chunsi. Okay, let's look at some more. What's my next word? My next word is deep. So we're on number 7 now. Deep. What kind of word is the word deep?
Adjective.
It's an adjective. Excellent. Very good, Lehan. Can you make any more words with the adjective deep?
Deeply.
Deeply. Very good, Isabel. And what kind of word is deeply?
An adverb.
Excellent. Any more?
Deepen.
Excellent. Very good, Jaden. Deepen. And what kind of word is deepen?
Verb.
It's a verb. Very good. Oops. Any more?
Deepness.
No, but you're very close. But how do you make the noun? That's not how you make the noun of deep. Any ideas? How do you make the noun? You add a suffix to it. And I'm going to give you the answer. It's not down there. Okay, so you make the noun by adding th to the end, depth. Okay, so that's the noun. It's not deepness, it's depth. Okay. Any more words? Can you think of the adjective?
Deepest.
No. Look at the verb. The verb is deepen. Can you make an adjective of this word?
Deepened.
Deepening. Okay, so that's the adjective, deepening. Okay. Okay, is everyone okay? All right, let's look at the next word. The next word is fragile. What kind of word is fragile?
Adjective.
It's an adjective. Very good. Well done. Oops, don't want to do that. Okay, and can you make any more words with the word fragile? I'm going to give you a clue. You add one of these suffixes to it.
Is it fragility?
You're very close, Jaden. You've formed the right word, but you've just mispronounced it. Can you try it again?
Fragility.
Excellent. Very good. Fragility. Okay, so fragility is the noun, and you add the suffix ity to the end to make the noun, and it's pronounced fragility. Jaden, can you say this word again for me?
Fragility.
Excellent. Isabel, can you say it for me?
Fragility.
Excellent. Chunsi, can you say it for me?
Fragility.
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 Excellent. Jiang, can you say it for me?
Fragility.
Excellent. Lihan?
Fragility.
Excellent. And Caddy?
Fragility.
Fragility. Fragility. One more time.
Fragility.
Excellent. Good girl. All right. So let's look at the next word. The next word is friend. What kind of word is friend?
Now,
It's a noun. Very good. Okay, can you make any more words with friend?
friendly,
Excellent, Caddy. Thank you. What kind of word is friendly?
active,
I can't hear you.
active,
It's an adjective. Very good. Okay, any more words?
Friendship.
Excellent, Chunsi. Very good. Friendship. What kind of word is friendship? Is it an adjective? Is it a verb? Is
A
it a
noun.
noun? It's a noun. Very good, Lihan. Okay, any more words?
Friendliness.
Excellent. Was that Lihan?
Yes.
Very good. Friendliness. What kind of word is friendliness?
A noun.
Very good. Any more words?
unfriendly,
Friendless.
Friendless. Okay, very good, Isabel. And what kind of word is friendless?
An adjective.
Excellent, good girl. Any more words? Okay, so let's look at friendly. How do I make the opposite of friendly?
Unfriendly.
Excellent, very good, Lehan. Okay, and we've got
Can I say befriend?
excellent. I was going to ask that. Very good. Well done. Befriend. And what kind of word is befriend?
Verb.
It's a verb. Excellent. Very good, Jaden. Very good. Okay, and just one more. So we've got the noun here, friendliness. How do I make the opposite of this noun? How do I make this opposite?
Unfriendliness.
Again, Lehan?
Unfriendliness.
Excellent. Unfriendliness. Very good, excellent. All right, and let's look at the very last word. The very last word is the word repair. And we're on number 10. Okay, so what kind of word is repair?
A verb.
A verb. Excellent. Well done. Excellent. So it's a verb. Can I make any more words?
Repairer.
No.
Does that word exist?
No, it doesn't exist.
Repairable.
Excellent, Chunsi. Repairable. And what kind of word is repairable?
Adjective.
Adjective. Excellent. Good girl. Okay, so if repairable is an adjective, how do I make the opposite?
Unrepairable.
No. You're very close, Isabel, but that's not how you make the opposite.
Non-repairable.
No.
Irreparable.
Excellent. Very good, Lehan. Irreparable. Okay. So irreparable is the opposite of the adjective repairable. Okay, and if irreparable is the adjective, how do I make the adverb?
Irreparableness.
The adverb. What do I do to an adjective to make the adverb? Can you remember? What letters do I add to the end?
Irreparably.
Irreparably. Okay, so remember, to make the adverb, you always add ly to the end of the adjective. P-A-R-B-L-Y. And that's the adverb. Okay, can you say this word for me, please, Lehan?
Irreparably.
Excellent. Caddy, can you say this word for me?
Irreparably.
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 Very good. Isabel, can you say this word for me?
Irreparably.
Very good. Jaden, can you say this word for me?
Irreparably.
Very good. Chunsi, can you say this word for me?
Irreparably.
Excellent. And Ji Yang, can you say it for me?
Irreparably.
Excellent. Very good. Okay, so if you wanted to take a screenshot of all of these, I'm going to make this smaller for you. So, okay, so that's the first page. Oh no, there are quite a lot of pages. Have you already taken notes, or would you like to take a screenshot? So if you want to take a screenshot, let me just make this smaller for you. Okay, so that's one screenshot which you can take. And then let me give you the next screenshot. You can take that. And then if you wanted to take another screenshot, you can take that. And if you wanted to take another screenshot, you can take that. And then the last screenshot is this one. And you can take that. Okay. Okay, so if you need to take a screenshot, let me know. Hopefully you've taken them all. All right. Okay, well done, everyone. You worked really hard there. So we're going to have a little break. We're going to have a 10-minute break to give you a chance to go to the toilet or get a drink if you need to. And I'll see you back in 10 minutes. Okay? Okay. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Just waiting for Caddy and Ji Yang. Excellent. Hello, Caddy. Just waiting for Ji Yang to come back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some more vocabulary. And we're going to look at this page here. So page 18. And we're going to look at mastering a language. Okay, so let's take a look at this vocabulary here. A bit rusty, accurately, aims, an excellent command, bilingual, fashionable loan words, fluency, highly articulate, mother tongue, pick up, and switch. Okay, so here are some words, and what I'd like us to do is I'd like us to read about these people. Let me just move a few things and make this smaller. Okay, so I'd like us to read about these people, and using these words here in the box, I'd like us to complete the gaps for the things that these people say about learning a language. Okay, so this woman here, okay, she says people tend to be something. They speak the regional and the national language, and they something between languages with ease. What do you think she says? What do you think number one is? People tend to be, what do you think this word here is? Using one of these words here in the gap, in the box rather, what do you think this word here is?
Is it bilingual?
It is bilingual. Very good. Was that Chinsi?
Yes.
Yeah, very good, Chinsi. Excellent. Bilingual. Okay, and how about number two? What do you think the second part is?
Switch.
Very good. Switch. Excellent. Very, very good. Okay, and let's look at this young man here. Lots of something are coming into the language, particularly from English. So my something is not at all the same as it was, say, 50 years ago. What do you think?
Fashionable loanwords.
Very good. Fashionable loan words. Excellent. Very good. Lihan? Loan words as compound noun. Okay, and what's the second one? Number four, please, Lihan?
Mother tongue.
Excellent. Very good. Well done. Okay. What do you think fashionable loan words means? Any ideas? What does fashionable loan words mean?
The word is not originally from the language.
Yeah. And what does loan words mean? Where do we get the words from?
Borrowed from other languages.
Excellent. Well done, Lehan. Excellent. Very, very good. Okay, good. Let's look at the rest of these sentences. Let's look at number 5. What do you think number 5 is? My English has got something because I don't use it very often.
A bit rusty.
Very good, Caddy. Thank you. A bit rusty. A bit rusty. Very good. Excellent. And number 6. Any ideas?
Is it pick up?
Very good. Can you read out the whole sentence for me, please, Jaden?
Living in a country, you just pick up the language naturally, and that's
Very
just about the best way to learn it.
excellent. Very good. Well done. Okay. And number 7. Any ideas?
Fluency.
No. Any ideas?
An excellent command.
Very good, Lehan. Very good. An excellent command of. Okay, very good. And number 8.
Highly articulate.
Very good, Lehan. Highly articulate. Very good. And number 9. Anyone?
Accurately.
Again?
Accurately.
Very good. Well done. Accurately. Okay. And number 10. Anybody? Can anyone give me number 10?
Fluency.
Very good, Caddy. Thank you. And number 11?
Aims.
Aims. Very good. Well done. Okay, excellent. Well done, everyone. Okay, so let's look at these sentences again. Let's see if I can get, yeah, okay. So I'd like us to look at these sentences again, and I'd like you to now tell me, which of these people do you agree with? About learning English, which of these people do you agree with? When you learn English, think about your experience of learning English. Which of these people do you agree with?
I agree with the girl, the third person.
Okay, the third girl.
I
So-
agree. No, the first girl.
Oh, this girl here.
No, the second girl.
The second girl. This girl here.
No, from the left.
This girl here.
Yes, because
Okay.
I agree that languages, we can get a bit rusty if we don't use it
Excellent. Yeah.
normally.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Lehan, do you agree with Jaden?
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other people that you agree with?
I also agree with the first person.
Mm-hmm. This person here?
Yeah,
Okay, why?
because like me, I can speak English, Chinese, and Malay. So I think what she says is logical.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Ji Yang, do you agree with Jaden or do you agree with Lehan?
Not sure.
Okay. Are there any of these people that you agree with or you disagree with?
Maybe number 10.
Okay, why?
Because when we are using languages, we are often using it as a form of communication. So fluency is number 1.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Chin Si, do you agree with Jaden and Li Han, or do you agree with Ji Yang?
I agree with Jaden and Dihan.
Okay, why?
I think the first person, which Jaden said, we can say we can say 2 languages and switch between them when you talk to people, and they can feel more comfortable talking with you.
Excellent. Very good. Very good.
And I also personally agree with the second man.
Okay, so this man here.
Yeah,
The man here. Yeah, okay. Why do you agree with him?
Because you hear the people saying the language, and you can know what they're talking if you listen to them every day. You can get the hang of it if you listen to it every day.
Excellent. Very good. Well done. Good. Okay, and Caddy, who do you agree with?
I agree with the last girl.
Okay, so this girl here.
Yes.
Why?
All are learning English so that they can use their language effectively to achieve their dreams in the future.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And Isabel, do you agree with Caddy or do you agree with Chin Si?
I agree with Chen Si.
Chin Si, okay, why?
Because I also think that when we learn a language, we just have to listen to that particular language every day. And that is also how we learn our mother tongue. We just listen to our parents use that language every day, and we will pick it up very fast.
Excellent. That's very true. Excellent. Very, very good. Well done. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Okay, what we're going to do now is I'd like you to look at page 19 because we're going to do a listening exercise, okay? So I'd like you to use your books for this, okay? So remember to use your books because when I play the recording, I can't share my screen. But what I'd like us to do is we're going to listen to 3 different extracts, okay? And we're going to talk about, okay, so for example, we're going to listen to extract 1. We're going to hear 2 travelers talking about language learning. I'd like you to listen carefully. Why did the man learn the local language in Mongolia? Was it A, to deal with awkward situations, B, to learn other skills from local people, or C, to have direct contact with the people around him? Okay. And question 2, they both agree that people wanting to learn a new language must A, have a talent for language learning, be prepared to work hard, or C, be ready to take risks. Okay. Any problems with vocabulary?
No.
No? Okay, thank you, Lehan. And then when we look at task 2, we're going to hear 2 teachers. Let me just make this bigger because it's not very big. Okay, we're going to hear 2 teachers, Rajiv and Susan, discussing the need for English spelling reform. Rajiv argues that spelling should be reformed because it would A, make learning more pleasant for young children, B, reduce the number of mistakes his students make, and C, make written publications shorter. And question number 4, Rajiv and Susan agree that simplified spelling would A, reduce learning difficulties, B, improve foreign learners' pronunciation, and C, produce substantial economic savings. Okay. And then number 3, extract 3, we hear a conversation. Oh, sorry, any problems with vocabulary before I continue? Are there any words that you don't understand here?
I don't
No?
understand publications.
Ah, okay, fantastic, thank you. Okay, so publications are books and literature and things that have been published. Okay, so publications is the noun of the verb to publish. So anything that has been published, so for example, books or articles or literature. Yes, okay, Chunsi?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, and then extract 3, we're going to hear a conversation between 2 researchers who have studied job interviews conducted in English. Question 5, what does the woman consider the main problem for non-native speakers? A, their English is not good enough. B, their body language may be misleading. C, their answers are unsuitable. Or question number 6, they agreed that the recruitment process might be improved by A, training interviewers to ask clearer questions, B, replacing interviews with practical tests, and C, changing interviewers' expectations. All right. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, so I'd like you to remember to use your books for this exercise because when I play the recording, I can't share my screen. So remember, I'd like you to listen to extracts 1, 2, and 3 and answer questions 1 to 6, choosing the correct option A, B, or C. All right? Okay, so let me get this ready for you. Sorry, let me just get this ready for you. Okay. All right, so let me just share my screen with you and answer the correct questions, A, B, or C.
Exercise 2. 1. 1.
Where I live, people tend to be bilingual. They speak the original and the national language, and they switch between languages with ease. As a result, they seem to find it easier to learn other languages as well. At least I know quite a lot of people who speak several foreign languages.
2.
People do worry a bit about how the language is changing. I think due to globalization, I suppose, lots of fashionable loanwords are coming into the language, particularly from English. So my mother tongue's not at all the same as it was, say, 50 years ago. Personally, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I mean, if people find it easier to express themselves using loanwords, then perhaps they should.
3.
I find it frustrating because I spent years trying to reach an advanced level, but now my English has got a bit rusty because I don't use it very often, and that's a pity.
4.
I spent years at school studying Spanish and never learned to speak it well. I guess I should have been sent on an exchange to a Spanish or a Mexican school for 6 months or thereabouts, because everyone knows that living in the country, you just pick up the language naturally, and that's just about the best way to learn it.
5.
I'm really dedicated to studying languages. I aim to achieve an excellent command of English, which means becoming highly articulate and being able to use the language accurately and effortlessly.
6.
Language is a tool for achieving other things.
And frankly, I wouldn't consider accuracy to be as important as fluency when learning a foreign language. I think the main thing is to make oneself understood. 7.
We live in a highly competitive world. Countries compete with each other, employers compete with each other, and people compete. Consequently, we should be teaching young people to use language for persuasion rather than self-expression. It's all very well being able to say what you think and feel, but you've got to be able to sell yourself, sell your product, achieve your aims.
Okay, so I think that was the first part. I'm now going to play the next part for you, and I'm going to play extracts 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and I'd like you to answer the questions A, B, and C. Okay? Okay.
I find not knowing the local language is the most frustrating.
All right, so here we go. Hopefully it will work this time. Okay, good luck everyone.
Listening Part 1. Exercise 2. Extract 1.
I find not knowing the local language is the most frustrating thing when travelling. But you made a conscious decision to learn it when you were in Mongolia, didn't you?
Not so much conscious. I sort of picked it up after I arrived, and I found it really helped me settle into the area and talk to folk there. Otherwise, I'd have had to use an interpreter, which I certainly couldn't afford.
How long were you there?
Oh, nearly a year, and it was great really being able to get some understanding of people's real interests and concerns.
And now you speak the language fluently?
Well, I reckon I can more or less hold my own in a conversation.
So, do you think the key to good language learning is to be naturally gifted?
It certainly helps, and it's not a gift we all have. I'm fairly outgoing and uninhibited, and that helps too. I mean, you won't get very far if you're scared of making a fool of yourself. What's essential, though, is application. You know, just getting stuck into it and making the effort.
Well, that's the key to learning almost anything. I mean, you don't learn other things like maths or tennis just by being uninhibited. I find not knowing the local language is the most frustrating thing when travelling. But you made a conscious decision to learn it when you were in Mongolia, didn't you?
Not so much conscious. I sort of picked it up after I arrived, and I found it really helped me settle into the area and talk to folk there. Otherwise, I'd have had to use an interpreter, which I certainly couldn't afford.
How long were you there?
Oh, nearly a year, and it was great really being able to get some understanding of people's real interests and concerns.
And now you speak the language fluently?
Well, I reckon I can more or less hold my own in a conversation.
So, do you think the key to good language learning is to be naturally gifted?
It certainly helps, and it's not a gift we all have. I'm fairly outgoing and uninhibited, and that helps too. I mean, you won't get very far if you're scared of making a fool of yourself. What's essential, though, is application. You know, just getting stuck into it and making the effort.
Well, that's the key to learning almost anything. I mean, you don't learn other things like maths or tennis just by being uninhibited.
Extract 2.
I came across something in a magazine recently that mentioned that spelling reform would cut the space writing takes up by about 15%. Imagine! Newspapers, libraries and bookshops with 15% more room. And then I remembered the trauma of learning spelling at primary school. You know, doing those dictations where we had to put a double P in approve and spelling right with GHT. It's frankly absurd, and I'd support the idea of simplified spelling just to save kids that.
But it's part of the character and beauty of the language. Not everything has to be reduced to something functional.
Maybe not, but as a language teacher, it'd make my life a lot easier because my students would immediately know how to say new words correctly, so I wouldn't have to spend so much time teaching pronunciation.
You hope? But think of the downside of reprinting every book and replacing every road sign. What a cost! I think you're being unrealistic, quite honestly. Mind you, I've heard a lot about how long it takes some English kids to learn to read, and apparently our spelling system's a major factor there.
If you can call it a system.
So you might have something there.
I came across something in a magazine recently that mentioned that spelling reform would cut the space writing takes up by about 15%. Imagine! Newspapers, libraries and bookshops with 15% more room. And then I remembered the trauma of learning spelling at primary school. You know, doing those dictations where we had to put a double P in approve and spelling right with GHT. It's frankly absurd, and I'd support the idea of simplified spelling just to save kids that.
But it's part of the character and beauty of the language. Not everything has to be reduced to something functional.
Maybe not, but as a language teacher, it'd make my life a lot easier because my students would immediately know how to say new words correctly, so I wouldn't have to spend so much time teaching pronunciation.
You hope? But think of the downside of reprinting every book and replacing every road sign. What a cost! I think you're being unrealistic, quite honestly. Mind you, I've heard a lot about how long it takes some English kids to learn to read, and apparently our spelling system's a major factor there.
If you can call it a system.
So you might have something there.
Extract 3.
You know, the problem for overseas candidates at job interviews is that the candidates often lack the sort of cultural background that'd stand them in good stead in these situations. So while their English is up to scratch, their responses take the interviewer by surprise. They get a question like, "What do you most enjoy about your present job?" where the interviewer is expecting something about the challenge or working with friendly colleagues or such like, and the interviewee is completely thrown. Perhaps in their culture, they don't equate work with pleasure at all, so they talk about the status the job gives them or the money. This is often combined with sort of closed facial expressions, so the interviewer finds the response difficult to interpret.
You're right, and I think the evidence shows that for many jobs, a better approach might be to set up a job simulation to see whether the candidate has the requisite skills and attitude.
Exactly, and although interviews will always be necessary, interviewers need to be trained not to read too much into people's answers, but to give people practical opportunities to demonstrate their usefulness.
Though getting the questions right and learning to interpret the responses more accurately would also be useful training for many interviewers, I think.
You know, the problem for overseas candidates at job interviews is that the candidates often lack the sort of cultural background that'd stand them in good stead in these situations. So while their English is up to scratch, their responses take the interviewer by surprise. They get a question like, "What do you most enjoy about your present job?" where the interviewer is expecting something about the challenge or working with friendly colleagues or such like, and the interviewee is completely thrown. Perhaps in their culture, they don't equate work with pleasure at all, so they talk about the status the job gives them or the money. This is often combined with sort of closed facial expressions, so the interviewer finds the response difficult to interpret.
You're right, and I think the evidence shows that for many jobs, a better approach might be to set up a job simulation to see whether the candidate has the requisite skills and attitude.
Exactly, and although interviews will always be necessary, interviewers need to be trained not to read too much into people's answers, but to give people practical opportunities to demonstrate their usefulness.
Though getting the questions right and learning to interpret the responses more accurately would also be useful training for many interviewers, I think.
Okay, so sorry about the mix-up at the beginning. Does anyone need to listen to that again? Does anyone need to listen to it again?
No.
No? Okay, great. Okay, so let's check the answers. Thank you, Jaden. Okay, so let's look at the answers. So question number 1, please, Jaden. What did you get for number 1?
Is it C?
Excellent, very good. Yep, so the answer is C. Well done, Jaden. Okay, number 2, please, Isabel.
It is B.
Very good, excellent. Be prepared to work hard. Very good. And question number 3, please, Ji Yang.
A.
Excellent, very good, well done. And question number 4, please, Caddy. Question number 4, please, Caddy. Okay. Caddy, are you there?
Yes.
All right, so question number 4, please.
B.
No, it's not B. Lihan, what's number 4?
Is it C? I mean
No.
A?
Yeah, it's A. Well done. Very good. It's A. Excellent. Okay, and question number 5, please, Chun Si.
Is it B?
Sorry, is it?
B?
No.
C.
Yeah, it's C. Excellent. Very good. And Ji Yang, question number 6, please.
B.
B. Very good.
Yeah,
Excellent. B. Very good. Well done. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Okay, all right. So when you go quiet, I don't think you've got any questions. So I'm going to continue. What I'd like us to do now is I'd like us to look at the language in this exercise. So let me just get it ready for you. Okay, here we are. Okay, so we're going to listen to people speak again. And what I'd like us to do is while we're listening, I'd like us to read what they are saying. So I need you to take another screenshot, please. Let me just make this smaller for you. Okay, so I'd like you to take a screenshot of this page, and this is the first part. This is extract 1. So I'd like you to take a screenshot of this, please. Okay, very good, thank you. Everyone okay? Well done, thank you, Ji Yang. And then the next one is I'd like you to take a screenshot of this page. Let me just try and make it a little bit smaller. I don't want to make it too small, but hopefully you'll be able to read it. And the next extract is this part. So I'd like you to take a screenshot of this page, please. All right, okay. And what we're going to do is I'm going to play the recording again, and I'd like you to read what they are saying and listen at the same time. And if you have any problems with vocabulary, I'd like you to tell me, okay? All right, so let me get this ready for you. I need to get the right extract again. So it's extract 6. Okay, here we go.
Unit 2. Listening, Part 1. Exercise 2. Extract 1.
I find not knowing the local language is the most frustrating thing when travelling. But you made a conscious decision to learn it when you were in Mongolia, didn't you?
Not so much conscious. I sort of picked it up after I arrived, and I found it really helped me settle into the area and talk to folk there. Otherwise, I'd have had to use an interpreter, which I certainly couldn't afford.
How long were you there?
Oh, nearly a year, and it was great really being able to get some understanding of people's real interests and concerns.
And now you speak the language fluently?
Well, I reckon I can more or less hold my own in a conversation.
So, do you think the key to good language learning is to be naturally gifted?
It certainly helps, and it's not a gift we all have. I'm fairly outgoing and uninhibited, and that helps too. I mean, you won't get very far if you're scared of making a fool of yourself. What's essential, though, is application. Just getting stuck into it and making the effort.
Well, that's the key to learning almost anything. I mean, you don't learn other things like maths or tennis just by being uninhibited. I find not knowing the local language is the most frustrating thing when travelling. But you made a conscious decision to learn it when you were in Mongolia, didn't you?
Not so much conscious. I sort of picked it up after I arrived, and I found it really helped me settle into the area and talk to folk there. Otherwise, I'd have had to use an interpreter, which I certainly couldn't afford.
How long were you there?
Oh, nearly a year, and it was great really being able to get some understanding of people's real interests and concerns.
And now you speak the language fluently?
Well, I reckon I can more or less hold my own in a conversation.
So, do you think the key to good language learning is to be naturally gifted?
It certainly helps, and it's not a gift we all have. I'm fairly outgoing and uninhibited, and that helps too. I mean, you won't get very far if you're scared of making a fool of yourself. What's essential, though, is application. Just getting stuck into it and making the effort.
Well, that's the key to learning almost anything. I mean, you don't learn other things like maths or tennis just by being uninhibited.
Extract 2.
I came across something in a magazine recently that mentioned that spelling reform would cut the space writing takes up by about 15%. Imagine! Newspapers, libraries and bookshops with 15% more room. And then I remembered the trauma of learning spelling at primary school. Doing those dictations where we had to put a double P in approve and spelling right with GHT. It's frankly absurd, and I'd support the idea of simplified spelling just to save kids that.
But it's part of the character and beauty of the language. Not everything has to be reduced to something functional.
Maybe not, but as a language teacher, it'd make my life a lot easier, because my students would immediately know how to say new words correctly, so I wouldn't have to spend so much time teaching pronunciation.
You hope. But think of the downside of reprinting every book and replacing every road sign. What a cost! I think you're being unrealistic, quite honestly. Mind you, I've heard a lot about how long it takes some English kids to learn to read, and apparently our spelling system's a major factor there.
If you can call it a system.
So you might have something there.
As a language teacher,
every book and replacing every road sign. What a cost! And apparently our spelling system's a major factor.
The problem for overseas candidates at job interviews is that the candidates often lack the sort of cultural background that would stand them in good stead in these situations. So while their English is up to scratch, their responses take the interviewer by surprise. They get a question like, "What do you most enjoy about your present job?" where the interviewer is expecting something about the challenge or working with friendly colleagues or such like, and the interviewee is completely thrown. Perhaps in their culture, they don't equate work with pleasure at all, so they talk about the status the job gives them or the money. This is often combined with sort of closed facial expressions, so the interviewer finds the response difficult to interpret.
You're right, and I think the evidence shows that for many jobs, a better approach might be to set up a job simulation to see whether the candidate has the requisite skills and attitude.
Exactly, and although interviews will always be necessary, interviewers need to be trained not to read too much into people's answers, but to give people practical opportunities to demonstrate their usefulness.
Though getting the questions right and learning to interpret the responses more accurately would also be useful training for many interviewers, I think.
Okay, so do you have any problems with vocabulary? Anyone? Any problems with vocabulary? Was there anything that you didn't understand?
No.
No? Is everyone okay? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, so before we finish, let's just very, very quickly, I'd like to look at a question. Let me just get my page ready. Oops. There we go. Okay, so I'd like us to look at this question just very quickly. What do you think are the main difficulties people wanting to learn your language? Any ideas? So when people want to learn your language, what do you think the main difficulties are? So if I wanted to learn your language, what difficulties would I have if I wanted to learn your language? I'm English. What things would I find difficult?
I think sometimes pronunciation is very important because if you pronounce it wrongly, it could become another word and you won't understand it.
Okay, thank you, Chensi. Thank you. Anything else?
I think the writing would also be a problem because it's completely different from English writing.
Okay. Okay, so I'd find writing difficult. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for homework is, if you can remember, at the beginning of the class, we looked at all these words, yeah? What I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to take 2 words from each category. Okay, so 2 words from here, 2 words from here, 2 words from here. Each category, just take 2 words, and with those words, I'd like you to make sentences using the words in context with your own ideas. Okay? So in total, I'd like you to make 20 sentences. Okay? But I'd just like you to take 2 words from each category. Okay? Do you understand what the homework is?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, excellent. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your hard work. And have a good week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you, Jay. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.